having a cute Mo attack where she just wants to yank on him. She's brooding on it. How she feels about him. And she's still thinking to herself, Mr. Bunny, Mr. Bunny. She's thinking to herself how sappy she's being, like, bunny, bunny, bunny. But it's actually, like, the term for what he is, so hair, hair, hair. For the March hair. Assuming that's the same thing. She's talking about how he twinkles in her vision right now. Like, twinkle, twinkle, twinkle is what that said. Well, he's talking about how happy that she made him. And he was talking about how she trusted him so much. And he's like, I'm impressed. They're talking about how they're gonna kill the rabbit. The idiot rabbit. They're jealous and they're like, trust isn't everything. And the twins got between her and Elliot, is what she's commenting on. And they're swinging their axe. Yeah, she's commenting that, like, now he shook his axe. And he's like, oh dear. And then they're like to each other, as my brother says, you can't go in the room at any time. It's outside the subject, you chicky rabbit. He called them brats, Gaki. I believe he was commenting on the fact that they're jealous, and he's like, what a pity, how old are you? So he's teasing them on the fact that they're immature. I believe they're saying, shut up about calling us. And they're like, you're just as bad, but a child is forgiven. What about you? And then they're commenting how for themselves we're allowed to do anything. It's a privilege. We're children, so we're forgiven. This is also another one of their catchphrases. Well, that first part was a bad word. He called them, like, a bad word. He's like, it's out of the question that you be forgiven. And of course your children. And I believe he's saying, give me a chance, you'll be gone. So he's like, I'll kill you. So of course you'll be forgiven. That's what I got out of that. Which it sounded like he set off his gun. She's commenting to herself while they're fighting each other and he's pulled out his gun that it's out of the question, that it's applicable to both of them. But if she says that the twins and Elliot are alike, that the reaction would be too powerful. So she's just gonna stay quiet. And she's commenting to herself that she's a friend of both of them. But she's thinking to herself, even if I'm a friend, going into the room of the opposite sex, I can't deal with that, like, just randomly at night. So she's still mad about, like, what they originally did, and she still doesn't know about the move that happened while everyone was asleep, which is why they even bursted in and broke down her door. She's just like, don't listen to this. She's tuning him out. It's too early. She can't deal with this. She's talking about how they're quarreling, that the axe and the gun are spread out, and that they're, like, going between each other. That was them cursing back at each other in the background. It was, I'm going to beat you from the twins, and then, like, from Elliot, damn it. And then this is metal sounds and gunshots echo. So she's commenting still on them fighting. And she's trying to get up out of the bed, so she's like, I can't deal with this. Like, they need to stop. Blood suddenly appears. So at some point, blood ended up in the room. And he's commenting on the situation and what she just said about how she can't deal with this, that she needs to get up out of bed, and that coming into a woman's room is unacceptable, even if you are a friend. So he pops in, randomly going in without permission. Someone else again. I'm, of course, in a woman's room. And then he's like, get permission in advance. But he's like, it doesn't apply to me. He's the Mafia boss. And they're like, blood! And she's like, great. She's like, I'm not going to give this person permission. She's like, there's no point. Either way, though, if she wanted to give him permission. Because he's already in there. Elliot's agreeing with blood. That's right, is what he said. He's like, let's see Brad, or blood. It translates to Brad for some reason. She's like, I did not want this to happen. She's still in her night clothes and in bed. She's like, I don't want to be influenced by these people, by the Mafia. Doesn't it affect anything inside their influence? She's like, I don't want to take on any of these qualities. And that was literally good morning, young lady of higher status. She's like, good morning, Doc. He's commenting on how lively her wake-up was and that it seemed like a good one. She's exasperated. So she had actually responded with a sarcastic comment, which she's known for in the first game and like all of the rest. She just maintains it. With a sarcastic thank you to his lively good morning comment and his response to her sarcasm was, that's good. Above all, if you wake up, it'll be a good day. Blood. She's talking about the transition in the time zones outside at night. She like noticed something was weird and he's responding back. And he's like, well, I respond weird to the time zones too. He's like, sometimes it's like that at lunch. She's like, ... Right? And then she makes a comment. She's like, I'm afraid it'll rain. She's commenting about how irregular the time zones are and that it could be like 3 days before she sees someone for lunch. He's commenting that it's the weather. And that it's a really nice day. It's actually really refreshing, he's told her. And she's still just like ... because she thought it would rain. She's like, refreshing, what? She was like, I felt weird last night. The time zones are changing. She's like, it's weird. After like 2 ... statements. She's like, how could he say that? I can't help but think of the other side. She's talking about, I believe, lunch with Elliot. And about his portions of food. Oh. Oh, I think she was actually talking about elitism instead of Elliot, instead of Elliotism towards food. So Blood's got an obsession with like tea and not being bored, and everything's fine as long as it's entertaining to him. And so she's commenting about how he's got like this elitist character and that he's well educated, but also that he's the boss of the twin gatekeepers and a very bad influence because of his like egotism. and just like lackadaisical attitude. He also has an obsession with avoiding Elliot's carrots. And then she's like ending this with, he's the Mad Hatter, Blood Dupree. So it was his little introduction. And she's like, he's the owner of the house right now, and the Mafia boss, a superior person. And she's commenting about how on the offhand statement that from the last game, she was shocked for a good portion of it that he had the same face as her ex-boyfriend, which was done on purpose, you find out later on, but that's not part of this game, so I won't get into that. But basically, Wonderland shapes itself a little bit towards like the person that's there and involved in their game, which is this game to try to trap outsiders who come from a different world in their world. And it's really hard to do that and make them forget about their world to keep them there. But that's what they're basically doing, trying to win her heart while she's trying to figure out how to get home and whether or not she wants to go home, because this is the second game, and she decided to stay at the end of the first game just to like hang out more with her friends, rather than just forget them all at once right then. And end the dream, because they have her convinced it's still a dream. She's still commenting about his character, and she's saying that he's self-conscious, self-indulgent, and the behavior that he has is like the night and day at certain times with his indulgent personality. He's very moody. She's like, it seems like a bad thing, but he has power and expression. So for him, it works. I think she's commenting on how like friendship is different from being your lover, or she's commenting about how like he's different from her past lover, her friend Blood, who has the same face, the exact same face actually. She still gets irritated by that. She's commenting about how different they are from each other. She's like, and it's for the honor of her ex-lover. The taste of clothes is completely different. She's like, her ex-lover had better taste in clothes. And like her friend, Blood, has terrible taste, like his tacky hat and everything. She constantly comments on that throughout the different games. She's savage. Yeah, she's commenting on his hat. She's like, it's a strange hat. And she's commenting that his mixture of riding clothes and noble outfits, like, what are you doing with your little clothes? And then she's like, my girlfriend has boots like that, and that it's all unmatched. So she's commenting that, like, her girlfriend's dressed kind of like this, but that his variation is unmatched.
不気味とはご挨拶だな。私は清々しい日の光をたたえているだけだよ。
He was commenting about the weather still, and he's like, it was just a salutation that I was giving you. I admire the cool sunshine only. And she was like, dot, 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 what? And then now she's like finally giving a response. She's like, now it's just creepy that he's doing this. Like, why is he being so nice this early in the morning? She's like, what's going on? Why is everybody in my room? Why is my door broken down? She's like, and if you were a gentleman, that would be expected, but you're not, so what's going on? Like, why are you being nice? Because he's known to be mean and sarcastic, too, just like her. She's commenting about the fact that he just came in at once, and maybe it's the twins or Elliot, but she's obsessed with, like, something not feeling right, is what I got out of that. So they still haven't told her that they moved. And she's like, it's weird too.
常ならノックくらいするさ。叩くべきドアがなかった場合にはどうすればいいのかな、お嬢さん。
I believe she was commenting earlier that it was weird to even see him this early in the morning. Since he is a mafia boss. Most of his stuff takes place at night. And so he was commenting to her that, I always do things like knock, but what if there's no door? And so he's, like, basically laughing at the fact that, like, should I? Like, where should I knock? There's no door. So it was gone.